Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV and welcome to another transfer news video. First things first, make sure you smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And there's not too much going on in terms of actual incomings for Chelsea, but one player will be returning to the club, and that is young midfielder Cesare Casadei, who has been recalled from his loan spell at Leicester City. Obviously, he made 25 appearances for the table toppers in the Championship, and he scored 3 goals for Leicester. He hadn't been playing that regularly, but he had started the last 4 games, and it felt like he was making some sort of progress in terms of, making a bit more of an impact on the team. And this kind of recalling him from loan is, I don't know, it's been a little bit of a surprise to a lot of people, including myself. I'm not quite sure what the thought process is behind here. I'm a little bit shocked by it. He was having a decent loan in a top team. Form wasn't the best, but to come back to the first team doesn't really make sense. But of course, I'm excited to see what might happen. I think Casadei impressed during pre-season. It's clear that he's not quite ready to play regularly in the Premier League. He had half a season on loan at Reading last season. He's had half a season on loan at Leicester City. Yes, he's getting exposure to first team football and senior football, but he's not exactly, pulling up any trees, as it were. And it's not really making sense on any level. He's not played that well this season, hasn't shown to be of that level. But he was starting to get minutes, and now he's going to come back and he's not going to get anywhere near as many minutes as he would have done if he was on loan. Why couldn't we just use a midfielder that we've already got? Why not use the youngster Golding, the 17-year-old? Why not use Leo Casteldine from the academy? Why does Casadei? Why does he need to come back? I get it. Potentially, one reason could be because Leicester City are now very close to signing Stefano Sensi from Inter Milan for €2 million, and that might add a bit more context to Casadei getting recalled. But as Fabrizio Romano reported, Chelsea believe in Casadei. He's going to start training under Pochettino, and the club believe he's got huge potential and can help the squad with immediate effect. I'm obviously yet to be convinced on that, but Sensi joining would be another midfield player coming in. It would be another player for Casadei to compete with, another player that would be taking minutes off him that he needs to develop. But if he's explicitly joining the first team, then he's not going back out on loan again. And I'm going to be very, very surprised if we actually end up using him, given his form for the first half of the season. But if we are, then he has to get minutes, at least from the bench. Otherwise, if he's not making match day squads or he's an unused substitute, he's just an extra body, he might as well be on loan, playing some regular football and continuing to develop his game. Look, he can definitely be a source for goals. And, particularly in the air, we've seen that, at Leicester at times this season, we've seen that with the Italian age group sides. And that's something we definitely lack in terms of prowess in the air and goal scoring ability from headers. But other than that, at this point in time in his career, he doesn't offer that much else, to be honest, at least compared to kind of other players in the squad. Now, another potential reason for recalling Casadei could well be the fact that the injuries to Leslie Ugochukwu is believed to be a lot worse than first feared. And there's Arkansas reported that he could be out until kind of February, maybe end of February. And there's been no real updates on Romeo Lavia's situation either, which suggests that he could be out for a considerable period of time potentially as well. So, in terms of bodies, you're looking at it, you've got Enzo, Caicedo, and Gallagher. You've got Andre Santos, who's with the Brazil age group side at a pre-Olympic tournament. You've got Lavia and Ugochukwu injured. It leaves you with 3 midfield players, and you think, right, okay, we could recall him, add some height to the team. Poch always is big on height, and it's just an extra body there in case we need it. But if we're just talking about extra bodies, as I said, why not just put Casteldine in? He's been training with the first team regularly. He's made the match day squad a few times on the bench. He's not appeared, but Casadei would just be doing pretty much the exact same thing. So it doesn't really make much sense on that level. That is the only reasoning I can think behind Chelsea recalling him. I don't think they would have looked at his form at Leicester and thought, yeah, we need this guy in the squad. I think they've looked at it and thought, right, we're a bit short here. These injuries are obviously these guys are going to be out longer than perhaps we first expected them to be. And we need an extra body. We need some cover there. Now, that's providing a very small benefit to Pochettino. But in terms of the bigger picture and Casadei's development, this 6 months, this second half of the season where he might get minutes like Gilchrist does, in terms of he might get some injury time minutes here and there. He might get 10 or 15 minutes here or there if we're up and cruising in a game. Like, this is not going to be any good for his development as a player. This is going to be training with a high caliber of player. The training sessions are probably going to be more intense, are going to be of a higher level. But ultimately, in terms of playing football and developing as a footballer, he would have been better off getting regular minutes on loan, and he simply isn't getting those now. And when you've got this many young players, how you develop them and the loan system and the pathways to the first team are so important. How players do on loan and come through the loan program has a direct effect on the first team as well. You've seen the loan program work very well for players at Chelsea. Reece James at Wigan, Mason Mount when he was here, Derby, Conor Gallagher, on loan at Charlton and West Brom and Crystal Palace. If the loan system works, and Chelsea do get it right occasionally, it has massive benefits for the first team. But when you seemingly keep getting it wrong, like we have with a number of players this season, Batcher Fofana recalled, obviously Casadei has now been recalled, Andre Santos' loan was a disaster to Nottingham Forest. We are hindering the development of these players, and it's down to the sporting directors. They're in charge of the academy, the women's team, the first team. These things need to be gotten right. Attention to detail has got to be given, and it just feels like right now we are not giving that attention to detail in terms of the loan system, the development of players that we've signed to either be a part of the first team 1 or 2 seasons down the line, or to sell on for a profit. And you're looking at these youngsters we were calling, is like, would we make a profit on Andre Santos if we sold him right now? Probably not. Would we make a profit on Cesare Casadei if we sold him right now? Arguably not. So yes, the first team is really important, but development of young players from the academy or young players we've signed, that has a direct effect on the first team. And if we're getting that wrong, then that really is a problem. So we do definitely need to think about that on a surface level, because right now I'm looking at it and we're just not getting it right. There's been too many loans that have just not been good enough so far this season. And it's really crucial to develop these players. It really, really is. And I just think with Casadei coming into this first team squad now, I just don't see where he plays. I just think he's making up the numbers. He's an extra body to call upon in an emergency situation. And that's not really the way to be treating a younger player. They need to go and play. We've seen it with like the players in the first team squad now. Most of them are all young. They need to go and play football. And right now, they just aren't playing. Or a lot of them aren't playing enough, and they're stagnating and they're not developing at the rate we need them to, or the rate that we want them to. So this again is another byproduct of building the squad the way that we have done, is that everyone needs minutes, and they're all taking minutes off each other, and some are going to develop and some aren't. And that's just the reality of the situation right now. We've got to be doing our best to make sure that whether it's at the club in the first team squad, whether it's out on loan, that we are doing our best to develop these younger players and giving them clear pathways and clear opportunities to improve their game. And right now, it just doesn't look like it. It just doesn't look like it. Casadei has probably improved as a player a little bit over the last 6 months at Leicester City, but that doesn't mean that he's ready to come and make an impact in the first team. So it's all very well believing in someone, but look, I think the plan's clear. Sign talented youngsters. The best will be good enough for the Premier, good enough to play for us. The others can go out on loan to the multi clubs that we've got in the model. They can kind of move around that system, and then we can sell them on for a profit elsewhere. And that's one component of the business. I absolutely get that. But right now, we've only got one club in the multi club, and we need to acquire some more clubs. So, I guess the plan's kind of there, but all the infrastructure we need to carry out the plan is not there right now. And I think we're making some questionable decisions, and definitely affecting the progress of a lot of youngsters at the football club right now, which is not what we need to be doing, which is not what we want to be doing. I'm just a little bit confused at what the plan is here, what the strategy is with all these young players. This was bound to happen, signing a lot of these youngsters, not enough places to send them on loan. Some loans are just not going to work out and be a disaster. Players' development is going to be, stunted to a degree. And yeah, it's not really adding up. Look, I hope Casadei does well. I hope he gets an opportunity, because he looks impressive in pre-season. And he's definitely got a unique skill set, and he's got some much needed height that Pochettino likes, as I referenced earlier. But as I said, not really making a massive impact at Leicester City. Why did Chelsea suddenly think that he can make an impact for us in the squad in the second half of the season? That's something that I'm struggling to get my head around. But yeah, guys, that's just my thoughts on Cesare Casadei being recalled from his loan at Leicester City to Chelsea. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you agree or disagree with me. Smash the likes on the video, subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV if you're new around here, and we'll catch you again in another one soon.